Grownups, did you know that by subscribing to Starglow Plus, you can listen to every single episode of Girl Tales ad-free? You'll also unlock access to tons of other podcasts, like Mysteries About True Histories, Kid News, Musicland Stories, What If World, and more. You'll even have access to audiobooks adapted for kids, like Little Women, Sherlock Holmes, and The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Just go to starglowmedia.com/subscribe to sign up today.
Hey grown-ups, it's that time of year again. We are sipping hot cocoa, gazing at the twinkly lights, and cozying up with a good Girl Tales story. This year, why not give a gift that puts the kids, our Tailblazers, at the center of that story? You can choose from our selection of personalized audio tales at the Girl Tales shop at girltalespodcast.com/shop. Your Tailblazers will lead the adventure in stories like the dinosaur fossil, where they travel back to prehistoric times, and Underworld Rescue, where they work with Greek gods and goddesses to bring stories back to the world. Plus, don't miss our wintry favorites like The Missing Mitten, A Freshwater Snow Day, and much more. We will sprinkle in your child's name and special details, making them the star of the story. Oh, and all of Girl Tales Patreon members receive a 10% discount. Sign up at patreon.com/girltales to get your promo code today. Make this holiday season unforgettable. Head over to girltalespodcast.com/shop to order your personalized tale now. Hurry, this offer ends on December 18th. Hey Tailblazers, I'm Rebecca Cunningham, and this is Girl Tales, a kids podcast packed with girl power and stories where every child's voice matters. Before we get started, I'd like to send a very special shout out to Claire. Claire, thank you so much for listening to Girl Tales. Oh, and grown-ups, it's that time of year again. We are selling our personalized stories for the holidays. Cozy up with Girl Tales this holiday season by gifting your Tailblazers a personalized audio adventure where they are the hero. Choose from exciting tales like the dinosaur fossil or Underworld Rescue, or some of our wintry favorites like A Snow Day in Freshwater or the best holiday photo ever. Visit girltalespodcast.com/shop to order your custom story by December 18th. That's girltalespodcast.com/shop. Grown-ups, Girl Tales is brought to you by families like yours. If you would like to hear your child's name at the top of our next episode, or if you would like me to wish them a happy birthday, head to patreon.com/girltales and join a team today. Now on to our episode. This is Winnie the Bear Celebrates Eeyore's Birthday. Enjoy! When I was a kid, there was one day after school that my sisters and I were at Grandma Nancy's apartment. Grandma Nancy was our babysitter, and we loved visiting her. She had doilies everywhere, candies wrapped in gold foil on the coffee table, and the soft hum of her grandfather clock filled the quiet as the sunshine peeked in through her sheer, ruffly pink curtains. Mary, Claire, and I sat at the kitchen table, coloring with crayons and paper. Mary was drawing a shark wearing sunglasses and surfing a giant wave at the beach. Claire, who was still little, squiggled all over her paper. I wasn't impressed, but Grandma Nancy thought it was beautiful and called it abstract art.
Like a Jackson Pollock.
Whoever he was. Me? I had a mission. To make the perfect birthday card for my best friend, Charlotte. I folded a sheet of paper in half and started drawing bubble letters. Happy birthday. But the letters always turned out crooked, or too big to fit on the page. I sighed, grabbed another sheet, and tried again, and again, and again. I grew more frustrated with each messed up card until a little pile of discarded papers surrounded me. Grandma Nancy, who always seemed to notice everything, came over and sat by me.
What's the matter, Rebecca?
Charlotte's birthday is tomorrow and I can't get her card right. It has to be perfect or it's not worth giving to her. Grandma Nancy smiled in that way that made you feel she had all the answers.
Oh, sweetheart, sometimes the best things aren't perfect at all. What makes a gift special is the love you put into it.
I scrunched my face. I don't know about that.
Well, what if I told you a story about some imperfect birthday presents that turned out just right?
My ears perked up. I'd listen.
Okay. Well, Eeyore, the old gray donkey, stood by the side of the stream and looked at herself in the water. Pathetic. That's what it is. Pathetic, she said. She turned and walked slowly down the stream for 20 yards, splashed across it, and then walked slowly back on the other side. Then she looked at herself in the water again. As I thought, no better from this side, but nobody minds, nobody cares. Pathetic, that's what it is, she said. There was a crackling noise in the bushes behind her. Out came Winnie the bear. Good morning, Eeyore. Good morning, Winnie Bear. If it is a good morning, which I doubt. Why, what's the matter? Nothing, Winnie Bear, nothing. We can't all, and some of us don't. That's all there is to it. Can't all what? Said Winnie, rubbing her nose. Joy, song and dance. Here we go round the mulberry bush. Oh, said Winnie. She thought for a long time and then asked, what mulberry bush is that? Bonhomie. That's a French word meaning bonhomie. I'm not complaining, but there it is. Winnie sat down on a large stone and tried to think this out. It sounded to her like a riddle, and she was never much good at riddles, being what she described as a bear of very little brain.
But she has a very big brain.
That's right, she does, doesn't she? But she didn't know that, so she sang Coddleston Pie instead. Coddleston, Coddleston, Coddleston Pie. A fly can't bud, but a bird can fly. Ask me a riddle and I reply. Coddleston, Coddleston, Coddleston Pie. That was the first verse. When she had finished it, Eeyore didn't actually say that she didn't like it, so Winnie very kindly sang the second verse to her. Coddleston, Coddleston, Coddleston Pie. A fish can't whistle and neither can I. Ask me a riddle and I reply. Coddleston, Coddleston, Coddleston Pie. Eeyore still said nothing at all, so Winnie quietly sang the third verse, quietly to herself. Coddleston, Coddleston, Coddleston Pie. Why does a chicken? I don't know why. Ask me a riddle and I reply. Coddleston, Coddleston, Coddleston Pie. That's right. Sing. Umpty tiddly umpty too. Here we go gathering nuts in May. Enjoy yourself. I am, said Winnie. Some can, said Eeyore. Why, what's the matter? Is anything the matter? You seem so sad, Eeyore. Sad? Why should I be sad? It's my birthday, the happiest day of the year. Your birthday? Of course it is. Can't you see? Look at all the presents I have had. She waved a foot from side to side. Look at the birthday cake, candles and pink sugar. Winnie looked, first to the right and then to the left. Presents? Birthday cake? Where? Can't you see them? No, said Winnie. Neither can I. Joke. Ha. Winnie scratched her head, being a little puzzled by all this. But is it really your birthday? She asked. It is. Oh, Well, many happy returns of the day, Eeyore. And many happy returns to you, Winnie Bear. But it isn't my birthday. No, it's mine. But you said many happy returns. Well, why not? You don't always want to be miserable on my birthday, do you? Oh, I see. It's bad enough being miserable myself, what with no presents and no cake and no candles and no proper notice taken of me at all. But if everybody else is going to be miserable too. This was too much for Winnie. Stay there, she called to Eeyore, as she turned and hurried back home as quick as she could, for she felt that she must get poor Eeyore a present of some sort at once, and she could always think of a proper one afterwards. Outside of her house, she found Piglet, jumping up and down trying to reach the knocker. Hello, Piglet.
Hello, Winnie.
What are you trying to do?
I was trying to reach the knocker. I just came round.
Let me do it for you, said Winnie kindly. So she reached up and knocked at the door. I have just seen Eeyore, and she is in a very sad condition because it's her birthday, and nobody has taken any notice of it, and she's very gloomy. You know what Eeyore is. And there she was, and what a long time whoever lives here is taking to answer this door. And she knocked again.
But Winnie, it's your own house.
Oh, so it is. Well, let's go in. So in they went. The first thing Winnie did was to go to the cupboard to see if she had a small jar of honey left. And she did, so she took it down. I'm giving this to Eeyore as a present. What are you going to give?
Couldn't I give it too? From both of us?
No, that would not be a good plan.
All right then, I'll give her a balloon. I've got one left from my party. I'll go and get it now, shall I?
That, Piglet, is a very good idea. It is just what Eeyore wants to cheer her up. Nobody can be uncheered with a balloon. So off Piglet trotted, and in the other direction went Winnie with her jar of honey. It was a warm day, and she had a long way to go. She hadn't gone more than halfway when a sort of funny feeling began to creep all over her. It began at the tip of her nose and trickled all through her and out at the soles of her feet. It was just as if somebody inside her were saying, "Now then, Winnie, time for a little something." Dear, dear, I didn't know it was as late as that. So she sat down and took the top off her jar of honey. Lucky I brought this with me. Many a bear going out on a warm day like this would never have thought of bringing a little something with her. And she began to eat. As she took her last lick of the inside of the jar, she thought, now let me see. Where was I going? Ah, yes, Eeyore. She got up slowly. And then suddenly she remembered. She had eaten Eeyore's birthday present. Bother! What shall I do? I must give her something. For a little while she couldn't think of anything. Then she thought, well, it's a very nice pot. Even if there's no honey in it, and if I washed it clean and got somebody to write happy birthday on it, Eeyore could keep things in it which might be useful. So, as she was just passing the 100-acre wood, she went inside to call on Owl, who lived there. Good morning, Owl.
Good morning, Winnie.
Many happy returns of Eeyore's birthday.
Oh, is that what it is?
What are you giving her, Owl?
What are you giving her, Winnie?
I'm giving her a useful pot to keep things in, and I wanted to ask you.
Is this it?
Said Owl, taking it out of Winnie's paw. Yes, and I wanted to ask you.
Somebody has been keeping honey in it.
You can keep anything in it. It's very useful like that. And I wanted to ask you.
You ought to write happy birthday on it.
That was what I wanted to ask you, because my spelling is wobbly. It's good spelling, but it wobbles, and the letters get in the wrong places. Would you write happy birthday on it for me?
It's a nice pot,
said Owl, giving it a look over.
Couldn't I give it too, from both of us?
No, that would not be a good plan. Now, I'll just wash it first, and then you can write on it. Winnie brought the pot to a stream nearby, washed the pot out, and dried it, while Owl licked the end of her pencil and wondered how to spell birthday.
Can you read, Winnie? There's a notice about knocking and ringing outside my door, which Rebecca Honeycomb wrote. Could you read it?
Rebecca Honeycomb told me what it said, and then I could read it.
Well, I'll tell you what this says, and then you'll be able to.
So Owl wrote, and this is what she wrote. Hippy pappy bethuda thuthuda thuthuda bethudity. Winnie looked on admiringly.
It says happy birthday.
It's a nice long one.
Well, actually, of course, it says, a very happy birthday with love from Winnie. Naturally, it takes a good deal of pencil to say a long thing like that.
Oh, I see. While all this was happening, Piglet had gone back to her own house to get Eeyore's balloon. She held it very tightly against herself so that it wouldn't blow away. And as she ran as fast as she could, so as to get to Eeyore before Winnie did, because she thought that she would like to be the first one to give a present, as if she had thought of it without being told by anybody. And running along and thinking how pleased Eeyore would be, she didn't look where she was going, and suddenly she put her foot in a rabbit hole and fell down flat on her face. Piglet lay there, wondering what had happened. At first she thought that the whole world had blown up. And then she thought that perhaps only the forest part of it had. And then she thought that perhaps only she had, and she was now alone on the moon or somewhere, and would never see Rebecca Honeycomb or Winnie or Eeyore again. And then she thought,
well, even if I'm on the moon, I don't need to face downwards.
So she got cautiously up and looked about her. She was still in the forest.
Well, that's funny. I wonder what that sound was. I couldn't have made such a noise just falling down. And where's my balloon? And what's that small piece of damp rag doing?
It was the balloon.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dearie, dearie, dear. Well, it's too late now. I can't go back, and I haven't another balloon, and perhaps Eeyore doesn't like balloons so very much.
So she trotted on, rather sadly now, and down she came to the side of the stream where Eeyore was, and called out to her.
Good morning, Eeyore.
Good morning, little Piglet. If it is a good morning, which I doubt, not that it matters.
Many happy returns of the day,
said Piglet, having now got closer. Eeyore stopped looking at herself in the stream and turned to stare at Piglet.
Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Many
Wait a moment.
Balancing on 3 legs, she began to bring her 4th leg very cautiously up to her ear.
I did this yesterday. I lifted my leg up to my ear like I am now,
Eeyore explained as she started to wobble.
It's quite easy. It lets me hear better. There, that's done it. Now then, what were you saying?
She pushed her ear forward with her hoof.
Many happy returns of the day.
Meaning me?
Of course, Eeyore.
My birthday?
Yes.
Me having a real birthday?
Yes, Eeyore, and I've brought you a present.
Eeyore took down her right hoof from her right ear, turned round, and with great difficulty put up her left hoof.
I want to hear that in my other ear as well. Go ahead.
A present.
Meaning me again?
Yes.
My birthday still?
Of course, Eeyore.
I'm having a real birthday?
Yes, Eeyore, and I brought you a balloon.
Balloon? Did you say balloon? One of those big, colorful things you blow up?
Yes, but I'm afraid... I'm very sorry, Eeyore, but when I was running along to bring it to you, I fell down.
Dear, dear, how unlucky. You ran too fast, I expect. You didn't hurt yourself, little Piglet?
No, but I... Oh, Eeyore, I burst the balloon.
There was a very long silence.
My balloon?
Piglet nodded.
My birthday balloon?
Yes, Eeyore. Here it is, with many happy returns of the day.
And she gave Eeyore the small piece of damp rag.
Is this it?
Piglet nodded.
My present?
Piglet nodded again.
Thank you, Piglet. If you don't mind my asking, what color was this balloon when it was a balloon?
Red.
I just wondered. Red, my favorite color. How big was it?
About as big as me.
I just wondered. About as big as Piglet. My favorite size. Well, well.
Piglet felt miserable and didn't know what to say. She was opening her mouth to begin something and then deciding that it wasn't any good saying that when she heard a shout from the other side of the river, and there was Winnie.
Many happy returns of the day,
called out Winnie, forgetting that she had said it already. Thank you, Winnie. I'm having them.
I've brought you a little present.
Winnie had now splashed across the stream to Eeyore, and Piglet was sitting a little way off, her head in her paws, snuffling to herself.
It's a useful pot. Here it is. And it's got "A very happy birthday with love from Winnie" written on it. That's what all that writing is. And it's for putting things in. There.
When Eeyore saw the pot, she became quite excited. Why, I believe my balloon will go perfectly into that pot.
Oh no, Eeyore, balloons are much too big to go into pots. What you do with a balloon is you hold the balloon.
Not mine. Look, Piglet. And as Piglet looked sorrowfully round, Eeyore picked the balloon up with her teeth and placed it carefully in the pot. Then picked it out of the pot and put it back on the ground. And then picked it up again and put it carefully back in the pot.
So it does. It goes in. So it does. And it comes out.
Doesn't it? It goes in and out and everything.
I'm very glad I thought of giving you a useful pot to put things in. I'm very glad that I thought of giving you something to put in a useful pot.
But Eeyore wasn't listening. She was taking the balloon out and putting it back again, as happy as could be.
And didn't Rebecca Honeycomb give her anything?
Of course you did. She gave her, don't you remember, a little...
She gave her a birthday card.
That was it.
Why didn't she give it to her first thing in the morning?
She was so busy getting her party ready for her. She had a cake with icing on the top and 3 candles and her name in pink sugar and...
Yes, I remember. Was it all perfect?
It was perfectly imperfect, and Eeyore loved it.
Sort of like this card I'm making.
Yes, that's right. I have a feeling Charlotte will love it too.
That was Winnie the Bear Celebrates Eeyore's Birthday, adapted from Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne. Written, performed, and executive produced by Rebecca Cunningham. Performed by Tessa Flannery. Produced by Megan Bagala. Girl Tales is a Cordelia Studios production. Grownups, you can get access to ad-free episodes of Girl Tales, as well as a range of other shows for the kids in your life by subscribing to Starglow Plus on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to hear me narrate the original stories of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, or Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, head to patreon.com/girltales and join Team Sunnybrook or above. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, if you loved this story, share it with a friend. Oh, and remember, I believe in you.
There's a hill and a road and a path where I know you must go. Through the sun, wind, rain, or snow. But wherever you venture, you can always come home. 'Cause I trust your heart, I trust my heart, and I trust your mind, I trust my mind, and I trust the friends, I trust the friends I know you will find o'er the hill and on the road. So off you go.